What's going on, guys? Today we're back with another Prime versus Prime fight analysis series. Today we're going to be looking at Khabib Nurmagomedov and talking about the fights that would have given him the most challenge and seeing who he could have beaten and who would have beat him. Starting off, his own protege, Islam Makhachev. I think that if anyone in the UFC in the lightweight division right now has a chance to beat Khabib, it would be Islam. He's proven that he has the striking capabilities to hurt someone like Khabib. Granted, I don't think he would hurt him. I think he would just point fight for 5 rounds. And he has one of the best grappling bases in the UFC. And if there's anyone that can stuff Khabib's takedowns or get back up once they've been taken down, it would be Islam. At 155, this fight would be very competitive, and I think Islam is just more well-rounded, and he'd be able to pull it off. If they fought at welterweight, I think Khabib would have a better chance because he'd be a lot bigger and a lot stronger. Moving on, Khabib versus Khamzat Chimaev. Personally, I'm going to go with Khamzat on this one. I think that he's just going to be too big for Khabib. Khabib is great, but if guys like Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and whoever else they fought can stuff their takedowns, Khamzat has a very good chance to. First, he's just way too big for him. What am I saying? He's a 185er. Khabib's a 155er. Khamzat would demolish him. Doesn't matter if it's on the feet or the grappling. Khamzat is just bigger, stronger. And yeah, moving on. Khabib versus Oliveira. This one really isn't a contest. Khabib would dominate him. I don't know if Khabib would finish him. No, maybe Khabib wouldn't finish him, but Khabib would just maul him for 5 rounds. Just take him down. Oliveira would be willing to go down. Oliveira would be looking for submissions. Khabib wouldn't let him get them. He'd just advance position and ground and pound and find his way to victory. Khabib versus Tony. I'm gonna go with Khabib on this one. This is a prime Tony, remember? I'm gonna go with Khabib because if you look at Tony's career, he's never been a power puncher. What he would do was he would wear you down with his pace and just track you down. And if you shot a takedown, he would try and sprawl and catch you in a darce. Khabib knows how to escape in a darce, and he knows how to not get caught with the darce in the first place. And he has the better cardio than Tony. Tony's cardio was relentless, his pressure was relentless. Khabib's ground and pound is just different. I think that if you look at Tony's career, the guys that have taken him down, even before his losing streak, they controlled him for the most part. Kevin Lee had staff, and Tony was barely able to. Tony was getting his ass beat in that fight before he could pull off the submission. I think Khabib would take him down, beat him up for 5 rounds, and win by decision. Moving on, Kamaru versus Khabib. Now, this is the first person that I would say would probably end up finishing Khabib. Khabib has an iron chin. We've never seen him actually really rocked in the UFC. Kamaru is bigger than Khabib, stronger, an American wrestler with at the time had a 100% takedown accuracy, takedown defense, sorry, percentage. I think that the only chance Khabib has to get him down will be in the clinch using his judo. But even then, I don't think, even if Kamaru goes down, I think he would just find a way to bounce back up and he would use his piston jab and just let his hands go. And yeah, he wouldn't. The reason Khabib was so dominant was because everyone was so worried about his grappling that he was able to strike with them, and then he could mix in the grappling. Kamaru relies on his takedown defense to the point where he doesn't worry about anyone taking him down. He goes out there willing to go to war. He'll grapple if he has to or if he wants to, but he fights very smart. I don't see Khabib beating him. I see Kamaru actually finishing Khabib. Moving on. Khabib versus GSP. Now, this is a fight that almost happened at one point. They talked about it. GSP has said that there was a time when he could have fought him at lightweight, but he was a welterweight and he did win the middleweight title. If they had fought at lightweight, I would probably give the edge to Khabib. It's his division. GSP would have came in a lot smaller. But if they had fought at welterweight, you got to go with GSP. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC has ever seen. His striking, he was very creative. The way he used his Superman punches, his leg kicks, spinning kicks, everything. His takedown entries were very good. Everything was very thought out and articulate. He is just the bigger and stronger guy. If you look at him, I mean, he won the belt at 185, and Khabib wasn't even willing to go up to 170 to fight. I don't really think it's a contest. I think Khabib would end up losing this fight by decision. That's all for me today. Leave me know in the comments who you want me to do next, and I'll see you guys next time.